Hello my friend and welcome back. My name is Hannah and today I'm doing a full face comparison first impression of Kaleidos. I got a lot of things going on in this video, so if you're curious about what I'm wearing on my face, what I mentioned in today's video, and what I'm doing in other pockets of the internet, I always have links in the description box down below, so don't forget to check them out. This video is no way sponsored or affiliated by any means. I'm a tiny small creator. All of the products that I'm talking about in today's video I did spend with my own money. None of this is PR for those of you that care. Kaleidos is one of my favorite makeup brands. I've talked about them a lot on this channel. I have enough Kaleidos product to more or less do a full face of Kaleidos makeup. And let's just talk about it. So let's talk about my order. I ordered quite a number of things. My total was about like $70 or so, and I live in the States. Kaleidos is an Asian indie brand. The husband and wife who are the owners of the brand, I think the wife is Chinese and the husband isn't. Anyway, the only reason that matters is because their company is based out of China, but they are also influenced by like Western makeup. They're quite interesting in that, like, I don't know if you're familiar with a lot of Asian beauty, but for a long time a lot of Asian beauty had no like Western influence. They kind of have their own trends and their own thing going on. But I mentioned this in another comment thread on another video, but I think Asian beauty is kind of going through a renaissance in the same way that makeup here in the States went through a renaissance in 2016, where we kind of expanded and formulas were getting better and we were trying new and different things. So it's really exciting to see Kaleidos like kind of expand and grow. That being said, I do have some criticisms to say. So let's talk about this order. I made this order the day that their face trio dropped, and I believe that was November 14th, 15th. I know that the day that the drop happened was the start of their Black Friday sale, and I had a meeting at work, and so both of them were listed on my calendar. And my coworker saw that I had marked on my work calendar a makeup drop. So that was an interesting conversation. But it is now the like final days of November. And usually my order gets to me within the 21 to 24 day timeline. They'll tell you when shipping to the States that it can take anywhere from 10 to 24 days. And my orders tend to always be in that 21 to 24 day range, and I don't know if it matters how much you order. Like this one, it was about $70. I didn't even get free shipping. I only had one shipping option available to me, and that was the $7.99 shipping. And I bought the whole, what is it called, Smoky Nostalgia collection. So all of those blushes, the 2 palettes, and the Lip Vault collection I bought with my own money. That was fairly expensive, and that got to me in 24 days. And that was free shipping. And again, I paid $7.99 for the shipping. I also got the Club Nebula palette. I've made previous purchases from Kaleidos across the board for different palettes and things like that. And again, they've all kind of come to me pretty late. This is the first order to kind of come to me less than 24 days. It's kind of been like 13 or so days in my order, and I'm fairly impressed. Kaleidos packages always come in like a nice cardboard box that has like the foam packaging on the inside to kind of protect your product. All of my items were also bubble wrapped, and the box itself is also enclosed in a nice like bubble wrapped envelope. And so I never had a problem with any of my items coming broken or damaged to me. Even this order came safe and sound. That being said, I did order another eye primer, and that wasn't in my package. They forgot it. So I'm going to reach out to their customer service, and hopefully I can kind of get that sorted. I do have their primer, but this is the one that I got in 2020. This one is really old. It says that it's only supposed to be good for 6 months. And here I have it on my eye. but it's my favorite kind of primer, and I love to use this primer with the eyeshadow palettes. So let's talk about the eyeshadow palette that I bought today. I did get the Futurism 3 Astro Pink, and I love the packaging for this palette. I love the Futurism series, and I'm kind of sad that they're discontinuing it, phasing it out. But the packaging is just so pretty. Like, I love this like nebula kind of color story and how the inside is pink. The packaging that Kaleidos has usually is really awesome and really pretty. I have the Flower Punk palette, and the box that came in was absolutely gorgeous. Even the mailer box, I still have that saved. The Club Nebula palette is also another beautiful palette with wonderful packaging. So I don't know, I think when I use this palette though, it's going to be off camera because it's not like it's a new palette, it's an old one. But here it is, so I'm going to be using that in today's look. And then I also purchased the Kaleidos lip oil treatment, the coconut oil lip treatment. I have the agave lip mask, the apple lip mask. I actually used all of the agave lip mask, and my apple lip mask is on its last two legs. And I did apply this before filming. I'm kind of giving it a chance to sink into my lips, so I can give you guys a proper review towards the end. But it is light like the agave lip mask, where I feel like the apple one is a little bit thicker, probably because it has more of a pigment to it. But it's not as glittery shiny as the agave lip mask. This is really nice, and it doesn't have a artificial coconut smell or anything like that. Okay, so this is the whole point of this video, is the face trio. So this is the face trio. I did get it in medium. Here it is in its glory. I will be zooming in when using this product so you guys can see up close what it looks like. But I do have their original trio right here as well. So I think in this video what I'm going to do is do the new trio on one side, the old trio on the other, and kind of do a comparison. And this is kind of my upset with this particular release. So when they announced this product and this collection, they had multiple videos on their Instagram of how to use this product. And they would use a model holding the trio like this and pulling from this shade and calling it the fill shade, kind of describing it more as you would a setting powder, that you can kind of use it to smoothen out your pores and kind of take oil away and set your makeup, brighten underneath. And it's really, really pretty, kind of like how I use my NYX banana powder. They also had that same model and that same look use what they call an illuminator. And this is only important because they make it sound like it's a highlight. I would never think of a setting powder as an illuminator. Illuminator does sound like it's highlighting, and they did say it's a matte illuminator. And that's what they advertised the smaller one as. And they showed the model holding this product separately and using it, as you would a highlight, like right here on your nose, right here on the high points of your cheek. And it's actually just a full single size of the fill shade in the trio. So I'll hold these up side by side so you can see they're the same shade. There's no glitter or anything in them. It is just a setting powder. And I'm just really annoyed with that marketing. And they had to go back and change the phrasing. They had to put in bold letters that this is just a single size of the fill shade. But when I made my order, that wasn't there. And again, they were using language that made it sound like this was a matte highlight. And again, they used the word fill. So illuminate, fill. That sounds like it's two different products doing two different things. It's actually just the same product, which also kind of raises an alarm for me. If they could release this particular shade as a single, why didn't they release all of the shades as a single? Like, some people do not contour. Some people do not like cooler shades. if I could get 2 singles like this, that's probably what I would have gotten, because I don't necessarily need a warm bronzer. I have a few, but I'm not really a fan of the warmer bronzer. I kind of like to do more of a contour and chisel my face rather than bronze my face. But they only had, again, this fill shade as the single shade, which is kind of interesting. And it's almost like it's just slightly bigger than this component right here as well, that it almost makes me wonder, like, what's the point? This is the average, like, sizes of a pressed setting powder. I don't know. So those are just some things that have kind of raised a red flag for me. But unless I really, really love this shade, this product, and how it works, I most likely am going to be selling this one. So if you were interested in the illuminator in shade medium, let me know in the comments down below. Do you prefer to shop from Depop, or would you like to shop from Facebook Marketplace? I kind of sell different things on both. I do have a Depop where I sell clothes and things like that, but I do use a Facebook Marketplace to sell anime figures. So just let me know what you're interested in, if you were interested in the product. But I'm gonna zoom us in because I wanted to freshly apply my powders my base, like my foundation and my concealer, so I can show you guys how I would use this product and how it performs as I'm using it. Kaleidos doesn't have any concealers or foundations at this point in time, so it's not truly a true full face, but I do have everything else from them that I can use on my face. So I am going to be using trusted products that I know work really well for me, that I really do enjoy. So if I do see anything kind of acting up, I'm just gonna put that on the new product. Does that make sense? I think it does. So let's zoom in so we can see what's going on with my face. Ugh. I have already applied the primer to my eyes. I do kind of like to have this set in and then I kind of blend out because I do have a little bit of a crease and a scar on one eyelid. So I just kind of like to tap it out. I'm kind of bummed about the primer not being in my order because it was one of those products that kind of grew on me. When I first got it, I wasn't like a huge fan of it, but then the more I used it, the more I kind of really, really liked it. And it's more of like a sticky base, not sticky in the way that the Nick or the Milk Hydro Grip is sticky. It's just sticky in that it's not smooth. The other primer I use is the Sigma eyeshadow base stick, and that one is really nice, but that is more of like a creamy finish. And if I'm using just mattes, that's okay. But something about this Kaleidos one works really well with my shimmer shades, and I like how my shimmers grip to that primer, and it looks really pretty, and mattes blend really well on top of it as well, and my makeup looks tend to last really, really long. So I don't know, I'm kind of bummed about that. And what I usually do with my concealer is that I will apply my concealer first because I tend to wear a lot of skin serums. And it's, I don't know, I think it looks better to apply the heavier product first and then the lighter product on top. And the concealer kind of works better that way. And I just kind of apply it in spots where I want a little bit more coverage than normal. Okay, now that I look like I have a lot more concealer than I actually do on my face on camera. But let me apply my foundation. I am going in with the Sephora Best Skin Ever. I'm assuming that they released the fill shade, the setting powder in individual shades because I think they want to kind of have it be something you can use for your face and your under eye. And maybe you're like me, my NYX banana powder is definitely lighter than the Sephora baked face powder that I use. I use my baked face powder for my face, or I use my NYX banana powder under my eye. And if I had known they were the same product and not like a setting powder and a matte highlight, I would have gotten the shade that matched my face, so then I could have had at least 2 useful products. I'm assuming that's what they were trying to do with that, and that's why they would use Illuminate when talking about the single, so then they can kind of advertise that as like, oh, use that in your under eye. But again, the demonstrations that they have on their Instagram account kind of are counterintuitive. They just, I don't know. I don't want to say that the brand like purposely made this flub and was trying to scam us. I just think that it was bad marketing. I really truly do. And I think, I mean, I was very, very confused, and I was asking questions as soon as they dropped if they were the same shade, because they seemed very similar. And I never got a reply to my questions, which is kind of weird because, like, I mean, I'm not on the Kaleidos PR by any means, and I don't even think they know who I am. But I mean, usually someone replies back on the Instagram account, like in the comments. Their PR team is actually like pretty good. Okay. I also have the Kaleidos face brushes. I'm gonna use these. I'm gonna use the slanted brush with the new palette, and I'm just gonna use my faves with the old palette, and I'm gonna set my eye with the banana or the lighter powder in the palette, and I'm gonna tap it right under my eye. I always kind of liked this one. It was okay. I just don't think it performs as well as my NYX banana powder, and it doesn't work well with all of my concealers. It's kind of picky, but I mean, it looks okay. It looks fine. What am I gonna use? Actually, I have a color swatch right in front of me. Okay, so using the same brush, I'm gonna go in the face trio, and it picks up pretty nicely on the brush, and I'm gonna tap that in my under eye in the same way. I think this looks a lot better. Like, this definitely looks smoother. This looks kind of cakey. I don't know, like even on camera this just looks a lot softer and airbrushed. This one not so much. But let's sweep it across. I kind of use the powder to blend out into the face, kind of where I applied the concealer, down my nose, and a little bit on my chin. I think that looks fine. Okay. I'm gonna use my Sephora setting powder for the rest of my face, just because, again, I don't have a powder for that. Will you open? Thank you. And I'm just someone that likes to kind of set my foundation in place. I think the products kind of play better on top of it, especially because I use a lot of skin serums, and my favorite foundation is more of like a gel kind of base. It does leave my face not sticky or tacky, but the powder just kind of brushes everything out and makes it look better. Like it kind of takes a little bit of that shine away on my nose, and I think that looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to, how am I gonna do this? I'm going to take a smaller, more defined brush, and I'm gonna go in with that contour shade I kind of hate how small and tiny these two are in comparison to the bronzer. Like, I understand you tend to use more bronzer than these two, but it's hard to get these two products on the brush without kind of like mixing them together. And I'm just gonna kind of chisel out my face. So what I usually do is kind of get the edge of my cheekbone, like right underneath, and create that shadow or exaggerate that shadow. And then I look straight ahead and I kind of, I don't know, like skeleton face, kind of like that. Kind of makes a bit of like a pointed tip of an arrow, if you will. And then I go in with a fluffier angled brush for the bronzer. And then right where it kind of needs to be a bit more blended out, I kind of go like this. And then add the bronzer on top and blend out what's left of that contour. I mean, I don't typically always use both shades, but for the sake of comparison, I'm gonna use both. And like, it really does chisel out the face. Like, look at how angled this is versus this without having any of the shadow. I do think I did go in a little bit heavier. I just need to blend that out. When you have a lot of powder like this, I mean, you can go in with a makeup sponge, like a damp makeup sponge, and kind of tap that powder out. But I think it'll be okay. I'll just be chiseled, but that's like the whole point, right? I do also take a smaller makeup brush and I go in with that contour shade, and I kind of contour my nose a little bit. It's kind of weird to do it on one side of the nose and not the other, but I kind of go like that. And then I take a little bit of the setting powder and I just kind of tie it in like that. I don't know, when it comes to my nose contour, I just kind of do it with my finger and hope for the best. I don't really think too hard about it. Okay. So, let me use my color switch again, or, oh, actually I have two of the same brush. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with that same brush and I'm gonna take the contour shade in the new trio, and I'm gonna do the same thing over here. So I'm gonna find that high point of my cheek and I'm gonna blend it out. Again, just creating a false shadow, or accentuating, exaggerating the shadow that's already there. I kind of have higher like cheekbones anyway, and this is me just kind of carving them out. And then I'm going to take a little bit, I always just look straight ahead, and I have dimples, so I just kind of look for my dimple and I kind of blend in, down and in. And then I'll take a little bit up top just to frame my face. I like how soft this one is in the new trio. I think it looks more true to a contour. Like the kind of soft contour I like. I like that it is very like, it doesn't look super noticeable in person, like looking at my mirror, but like on camera, it's also there. It's really pretty. I mean, not that makeup looks natural, that's not what I'm trying to say. It's just not as harsh as this one. Or the other side of my nose. Oh my gosh. And then I go in with my finger and kind of, I always like to take it right underneath my eyebrow just to follow the shade. I mean, maybe it's because I like JoJo and I just want to have like the really intense JoJo lines. But I think bringing it up and under your eyebrow really ties the shape in. Oh, the bronzer part. Okay, so I'm going to take the Kaleidos fluffy brush or the fluffied angle brush, and I'm going to take a little bit of that bronzer, and I'm going to do the same thing where I kind of just sweep it on. she's pigmented. So when you press your brush in, you also tap it out. Let's see. And I kind of just take my bronzer in the same spots, but I bring it higher on my face to kind of blend it out. It blends really nicely. It's a really soft. It's definitely softer than this formula. I can definitely see a difference when looking at it. I think that looks pretty good. Whatever is left on my nose, I'll just kind of tap it in. There we go. Should I go in with this one, or should I go in with this one? I don't know the names of these because they're not on the packaging. If I go in with a brownie one though, like, is it just gonna be too much brown? I'm just gonna go in with this one. This one's my favorite anyway. I'm gonna take it on the Kaleidos blush brush, and I'm gonna apply it to the higher points of my cheek. I think that looks really pretty. And then what I like to do with these blushes in particular is take a little bit of the lighter shade and kind of press it right in the center. And then take it on my nose. I only take the one shade on my nose so that it's not crazy. And I know that I put the concealer on my nose to cover the redness, and then here I am putting blush on top, but I don't know. This looks a lot cuter to me than like the scary winter red that comes in through my face. And then let's put on the highlight. I'm gonna go in with the iconic Mars Melter. This is the reformulated one. They had two versions of this, and I think now this is the only one that's available. The original one was in like a red tin packaging, and it looked more white in the pan. This one looks more pink, and I'm gonna apply it on the high points of my face. These ones have a bit more of like a chunkier glitter in them. So if you're not really into the chunky kind of highlight, you might not like these highlighters, and you might just like more of like the duochrome one. But I think these are so pretty. Like, I don't need all of the Kaleidos highlights, but a part of me wishes I had every single one because I just think that they're all so pretty. So what I'm gonna do off camera is do my eyeshadow look and kind of get put together, and then I will come in with some of my final thoughts and opinions, and then we can wrap up this video. Okay, so this is the final look. I didn't think that I was gonna like a black shimmer as much as I do. This is a really cool palette. I wish that the lighter brown shade was just like a matte white. I did have to reach into my BH Cosmetics palette and get this matte white, but otherwise I think it looks really good. I did go in with the Juvia's Place blue eyeliner. And then, oh, the lip product I used is the Wild Apple shade BE01 from the Lip Clay collection. And I did use like a brown lip liner, the Wild Apple, and then I did press some of the highlight into my lip. And I mean, it looks, I'm gonna probably wear my lips like this to work tomorrow. I might even wear this blue galaxy look tomorrow. Make the boomers mad. But let's talk about what I used. So, I think I didn't plan on decluttering this, but I very much can. I think the only reason I would hold on to this is because it is a discontinued item and I would want it for comparison. But this is obsolete compared to the new trio. The magnet in this, by the way, is so strong it like sticks to everything on my vanity right now. Kind of crazy. But this is the superior trio out of the two. But I will say, I don't know if I like it so much for my under eye as much as I like my NYX banana powder. That is one of my holy grail items, so I almost feel like it's unfair to kind of compare the two. But this one kind of, I don't know. I can already tell that it's like kind of settling and giving me fine lines. maybe I need a different brush, a better brush to set it with or to use. I don't know. I even tried to kind of, I don't know, place everything down with a setting spray. I did use the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray, so it's not so much a setting spray either. I think it's just the powder. I don't know if it's ideal for my skin type. I do have an oilier T-zone and then just normal skin all around. And I don't know, like, I mean, this is the side of the older trio, but it's definitely like giving me weird pores and things like that, where this one is kind of giving me that same thing. I feel like in a few hours, this powder isn't going to look as nice. But I will say I do like the contour and bronze of the new trio a lot more. I think it looks a lot softer, a lot prettier. I want to play with it a little bit more to perfect it, but the way that it's sitting on my skin looks a lot better. It's a lot nicer, where this one kind of, you know, baby's first bronzer, if you will, and then this one is a little bit better. I mean, if you're not in the market for a bronzer or a contour, I don't think you need to have this. I don't think this is like gonna be a holy grail item, but I mean, I like it. I like how this looks. I want to play with a lot of my cosplay techniques to see if this will be my trio for cosplay. I don't think I'm going to be using that setting powder, and this is why I kind of wish that the bronzer and the contour were sold maybe as a duo or as their own individuals, because I would be more likely to buy something like that versus something with a trio with one out of the two powders I'm not really going to utilize. There was also, I saw this in the PR posts that I would see from content creators, but there's a new angled brush that they have in their PR kit, which makes me think that Kaleidos is going to be releasing a new brush set. I don't know if they've ever just released one brush. This brush currently is unavailable on their website, but these two are, which makes me think that they're gonna kind of redo these three all together. I don't know, if they do drop new brushes, I'm most likely gonna pick them up because I do like the Kaleidos brushes that I have currently. It looks like this angled brush is a bit more like defined. Like, it's still fluffy and dense looking like this, but it's smaller, so I think it is going to be more perfect for contouring and bronzing, where this, I don't know, I guess this is perfect for bronzing when you just want to wipe the shade on, but I kind of like this more for blush, if I'm being honest. It just depends on what kind of blush technique I'm using. Otherwise, that's kind of my thoughts and opinions on that. As a brand as a whole, I do like them. I'm just not so happy with kind of the advertisement and promotion of their current collection. I think that the trio is okay. I don't know if you need to necessarily rush out and go get it, but I think if you liked the original trio and that was maybe your holy grail, I think this one is a better improvement. And I do think that the powder is more for those who have like dry skin. I think if you have dry skin, this powder will look absolutely wonderful on you. Because I have oily skin, like again, just in the T-zone, it's definitely picking up my pores and things in a way that I don't really like. So I don't know. I think I'm going to be selling that Illuminator single. So again, let me know in the comments down below if you would prefer it to be sold on like a Facebook Market page or the Facebook Market, right? What is that called? I think that's what it's called. Or like Depop. Let me know in the comments down below. And what else? I mean, I don't know. Did this video help you? Are you interested in Kaleidos? Are they one of your favorite brands as well? I would like to see another eyeshadow palette, like a true palette, not just a quad. Maybe if they bring this kind of like setup out again, but instead of it being this formula, it is the formula of the quads, because I do like the quads. I think that they're really pretty. I don't know, maybe we'll get a Nebula 2. That would be cool. I don't know. I'm really excited to see what the brand has in store, and I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions down below. If you liked hanging out with me today and you would like to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's video.